Hoi, it's Lewis T again, and for this video, we are going to film our July 2026 TBR with the help of the Alphabet TBR game. Hoorah! So, who would believe that the first half of 2026 is over? It flew by, and now we are about to approach July 2026 as of this filming, and that just means I'm gonna have to do a mid-year freak out or mid-year check and tag. But we'll deal with that later on. First of all, let's deal with our July 2026 TBR with the help of the Alphabet TBR game. Yeah, time just flies by, and you wouldn't notice it when you're all caught up with a lot of things and you're busy and all that. So it is what it is, and yeah. So for folks who are watching this video or my Alphabet TBR games for the first time, let me explain the mechanics. So every month I would have 3 to 4 books, so basically with the help of the Alphabet TBR game, which is composed of 26 prompts based on the 26 letters of the English alphabet. So basically each letter in the English alphabet has a corresponding prompt, and I'm gonna have to pick 3 to 4 depending on how I assess myself, and pick a letter, and I need to pick a book that corresponds for its prompt. Now whether I can mix books or whatnot, it's up to me. It is my game, my rules. So yeah, and also just some stipulations. If I pick letters that are consecutive to each other, so say letter A and letter B, or letter Z and letter Y consecutively, I'm going to have to add another prompt. It doesn't apply though if I pick letter A and then I pick letter Z, or if I pick letter Z and I pick letter A, so that doesn't apply. Also, if I pick letters that I already picked in the previous month, then I'm going to have to add a prompt. So will I be combining books for some of the prompts? Well, it is up to me, So yeah, so before we move on to our July 2026 TBR, let us see how am I doing, because right now as I'm filming this, it is the 23rd of July 2026. Oh, did I say July? 23rd of June 2026 in the Philippines. So let's see how I did as of this filming. For letter G, which is general fiction, I chose Yellow Face by R.F. Kuang, and I read this. For letter L, which is Lalaki book, I chose Firefight by Brandon Sanderson, and I'm currently reading it. For letter N, which is number generator, the number generator chose Escape from the Isle of the Lost by Melissa de la Cruz, and I'm still contemplating if I'm going to be reading it, because I just found out in my Everon that I have a book that I can read, for this month of June. And it's kind of rare for me, for everyone, for me to be allowed to read more than one book per month. So I kind of want to make the most out of my Everon subscription. So there's a possibility that I might not get into this, but if there's going to be a miracle that I get to finish Firefight and that book that I want to read from my Everon account, then this might be read. Otherwise, it won't. I also read in June 2026 Cameron Bell and the Escape Trials by Jamar Perry. And finally, I finished another series. Pick number 1. Letter C. Letter C is Nature on the cover, and I chose The Inheritance of Oroqueda Divina by Zoraida Cordova. Not sure if I pronounced the character's name correctly, but yeah, this is in my Everon, and the cover has some flowers, whatever edition or whatever cover that you're going to be choosing. I look at it, all of them have flowers, and some of them, if not all of them, have birds. So I want to read like books by Latin authors, so want to give it a shot. I think I need to get a little bit more into them aside from Paulo Coelho, because like why not, like I said, in terms of like inclusive reading. So definitely looking forward to this one. I'm choosing The Inheritance of Orquídea Divina by Zoraida Cordova for the prompt, letter C, nature on the cover. Pick number 2. Letter L. Letter L, which is Lalaki book. Now, I picked this prompt a month ago, so that means we're going to be adding another prompt. Now, basically, again, if this is your first time watching an Alphabet TBR game video, Lalaki book means like any book that's like probably for the quote-unquote alpha male. So basically, the genres and age groups that fall under like this category, or this so-called lalaki book, or dad books. That's what I was thinking when I came up with this prompt. Is basically like sci-fi, whether young adult or adult, like thrillers that are like adult thrillers, adult horrors, adult mysteries, adult fantasies that are like epic fantasy or high fantasy that are written by men. Okay, so trans men included. And yeah, so hopefully that was clear because lalaki means guys. So hopefully that explanation was clear to understand how how I pick books, or what is the process of me picking books for this prompt. And I chose something that's really thick because when I was doing my book series I'm in the middle of video, I realized it's been years since I read like the first book of this one, and basically the books in this series are like written like, if not years, like decades apart. I'm talking about the Pillars of the Earth series, or the King's Bridge series, if that's what you call it. I chose World Without End by Ken Follett. Now this is going to be a thick one. Not sure if I'll be able to finish it within July. I might need a lot of like focusing for this one, especially that this is a high fantasy. But that's what we picked for letter L, lalaki book. Pick number 3. Letter B. There you have it. Letter B is blindfold pick, and as you can see from the previous clip, I chose, or my blindfolded self chose, Not Here to Be Liked by Michelle Quash. Now, I've been wanting to read this one, from the title itself. It's like I'm so curious because, sometimes I feel like when you don't really want to let other people, dictate like your decisions, and kind of like you're not anymore pleasing them. You care, but not like letting them own you, if that makes sense. I've heard somewhere like you care for people, you should care, but not let them dictate like how you're gonna be deciding, or like who you are and all that. So that's a pretty good like a quote or saying, if that's what you want to call it. And yeah, from the title itself, I was captivated by it. I haven't read the synopsis or anything. I did see it around in some booktube videos, I believe, or some bookstagram photos or reels. But yeah, like definitely I'm intrigued, because it's kind of like, sometimes it's kind of like I said, like in my Manila International Book Fair 2024 vlog, that this is kind of like the story of my life. Like I'm not here to be liked. Sometimes my brain goes like that. And as mentioned, I bought this in 2024. I honestly don't mind if like my physical copies of books like stay for long. I feel that when I get to read them right away. It's like I wasn't able to maximize my expenses because it's not like I'm going to be rereading them anytime soon, or I might not even reread them. But I mean, that's just me. So it's like when they stay for quite a while, I actually like it because I feel like I have maximized their expenses. I mean, I don't know about you folks, but for me, it's like, I personally, I prefer not to buy like personally, I prefer not to read like my recent purchase or the books that I recently bought. So, yeah. Pick number 4. Letter M. And my mom chose, by the way, letter M is Mother's Pick, and my mom chose 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. She was kind of gleeful when she chose this one. She was gleeful. She was like jolly when she's like 7 Days in June, when she underlined that. And yeah. This was included in one of my previous TBRs. I believe this was included in my January 2026, and I wasn't able to get into it because, I tend to prioritize my Everon picks whenever they are available because, I make the most out of my monthly, subscription because I pay for it monthly, so that's why it feels like I need to make the most out of it, and it's digital, so yeah, I mean, that's just me. But yeah, finally, we're going to get into this. This is a popular romance. I know some of my high school batchmates read this, and hopefully I'm going to be one of those people who will enjoy this one. I tend to not be enamored or be in awe with popular books or hype books. But this might be one of the exceptions. I mean, talk about the Supernatural Investigators or the Amari series by B.B. Austin. So far, I got the hype. So, yeah, hopefully this one will be a good pick by my mother. So, 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. Just to add, I realized that's been 2 years since I started doing the Alphabet TBR Games. So congratulations, it's our 2nd anniversary of doing our Alphabet TBR Games, although there were months that I skipped. Technically I started in July 2024, so that's what's going to stay and that's what's going to stick. So yeah, so that is right. Wow, I was just thinking about, getting into reading a little bit more, focusing and getting in the zone, and it actually worked. It helped me really read more, and with the help of the Pomodoro technique, it really helped me really focus on reading. So yeah, and we've witnessed a lot of books through these Alphabet TBR Game videos. Hopefully you were able to find, some favorites. Just can't believe that it's been, it's been 2 years since I started doing this, since I began with my Alphabet TBR Games and my, TBRs with the help of the Alphabet TBR Game. Fantastic. So, yeah, feel free to comment down below the books that you plan to read for July 2026, or if you don't really do any TBRs, maybe even maybe reads or want to read, just feel free to comment down below the book that you are on top of your mind you want to read, or maybe you want to own. So yeah, and feel free to comment down below, if you've been watching these Alphabet TBR Games. Thank you super much, and feel free to comment down below what you've gathered, or how was it? Did you enjoy watching these videos? I hope so. Yeah, so yeah, and I think that's about it. If you've made it this far, leave some swords emoji. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Also, click that subscribe button and hit that little bell icon somewhere down there to keep yourselves posted about my videos. Also, put down links and handles on my social media accounts, so feel free to check me out and follow me there and support me there as well. As always, thank you super much for watching. Always be thankful and unleash the reader in you. Bye, y'all.